www.andrewmarkmusic.com, on the alliance between economic fascism, aka neoliberal policy, and the Frankfurt School Marxist multicultural ideology, and how they became enmeshed. And so I think where I'll start here is, first and foremost, Christianity had to be made toxic for any of this to work. Between 1900 and 1948, I would say May 48 was when Christianity started going downhill. Between 1900 and 1948, Christianity was going through a deconstruction phase that was a continuance of 500 years of the Enlightenment. In those decades, Christian people were fighting for the freedom of women and the emancipation of women, and Christians were fighting for the end of slavery. And they also succeeded in realizing that their book was not meant to be taken literally, that it was a collection of ancient, archaic allegories and myths with a lot of profound truths if it's studied in a certain way, but certainly never to be taken literally. So the point here is that for what's happened today to be able to happen, you had to destroy Christianity first. Now, how Christianity got destroyed was by inverting its central message and turning it upside down, and making most every stream of Christianity toxic. And we see the fruits of that today, where anybody that claims to be a Christian now is basically a fascist, So it's an inverted Christianity. So that's the first thing that had to happen. How the 60s psyop played into that, I'm convinced of it, that to create the amoral conditions for this society today, you had to get rid of that prior moral structure. And the 60s did that effectively, so effectively that I don't believe it was random. But that's really not a part of this post. Now, since the 60s, we have the Chicago School neoliberal policies, which are fascism. They spread their tentacles all over the earth. They went down into South America and devastated South America. They've been implemented all over North America since then. Canada, every province in Canada is neoliberal. When the Berlin Wall fell, all the economists went to Russia and installed neoliberal capitalism in Russia. And the end result of all of it after 70 years is economic fascism, because it was always economic fascism. So why would you be surprised at the end result when the beginning of it was the same thing? I mean, this should come as no surprise to anybody. You have to be either a part of the fascist agenda or just outright fucking dumb not to see this. And I suspect the former is ubiquitous within the religion of cash. So prior to the advent of neoliberalism, you had the Frankfurt School, which was atheists trying to implement what I call the millennial kingdom of God their way. Okay, so they wanted, this hypothetical communism that God was going to install for 1,000 years. They wanted to install that in their own version of it. They wanted to use the faculties of reason. Now, why they would think they could use the most polluted thing in the universe, the human mind, to solve anything is a whole nother can of worms. But this is what they wanted to do. And it's obvious the result of that. And there's obvious alliances made with the neoliberal fascists. So what they did is they manipulated this version of their utopia. But the interesting thing is where they did it. The only place they did it was in white Christian nations. Anyway, if you go to any other nation on earth today, there's a homogeneity of populations where, you know, everybody has their own culture in the wisdom of evolution, you know, that this happened, you know. But in the Christian nations, the Marxists and the economic fascisms have installed a heterogeneity of Marxist ideology. And this is just throwing, using the rightful emancipation of women as a tactic of this perverted idea, using the rightful interpretation of sexual preference, that means, you know, human beings, you know, have sex as ubiquitously as any other species. It's just natural. So I in no way interpret sexuality in any kind of fundamentalist religious way. This interpretation is a Gnostic interpretation of what's going on here. Now, the symbolism of all of this ties right back to the Caesars and the pharaohs, you know. So there's this false religion that comes out of there, out of ancient Egypt, that got transferred into the Caesars, which got transferred into the kings and queens of Europe, which are now the bloodlines of the oligarchs that run the transnational corporate plutocracy. So this is basically an overview of what's happened and how this alliance happened. No, it's not a conspiracy. You know, this is to write this fact off as a conspiracy is a tactic of the left-wing scribes, you know, in this inverted religion of money and cash, okay, where I call the left-wing ideologues, I call them the Sadducees, and I call the right-wing economic ideologues the Pharisees. And they work hand in hand in this new religion. So, you know, then the biggest rollover, laugh my ass off, is when atheists say that they've overcome religion. It's so hilarious that this is the same old, and it is religion. It's 100% religion. Okay, it's the religion of money. It's been implemented by the same people who brought us all the other false religions. And there's only, from the Gnostic point of view, there's only one true religion, and that's, you know, the God that can't be named. Okay, or, you know, there are people in history who have figured this out. You know, the Tao, if you name the Tao, it's not the Tao. So the God of Gnosticism is the unknown God. And I doubt we can know God in any conventional way. I don't think, but it is as a Gnostic, it's our first principle to understand what this is, and that it's real, and that there is a way out. And also to, you know, call the bullshit when it's bullshit, you know, and it's all bullshit. Now, is it all bullshit that I'm espousing a Gnostic flat earth theory? I haven't gone that far. But the flick of the penny that I would give to the flat earthers and Eric Dubé is that the level of corruption around the planet is such that the earth could be flat. That's how absolutely corrupt everything is here. So, again, I'm not a flat earth Gnostic. I believe in the official stories of science and the 13.7 billion year old universe and evolution, and how the Marxist multiculturalists fail to understand the wisdom of evolution and have implemented mayhem along with their right-hand compatriots, the economic fascism. I hope this helps clarify my position on this. www.andrewmarkmusic.com. Peace.